Hello, everyone. Happy Juneteenth. Wearing my Juneteenth shirt, even though you can really only see the top of it. And happy Black Music Month and happy Pride Month. All of the things in the same month, you know. So today we're here to talk about my personal top 10 favorite pro Black songs and read Eintou poems that I wrote. And I'm just going to start off by talking about the poetry form. It is an African American form of poetry. The name itself is West African for pearl, suggesting the phrase pearl of wisdom as well as the circular shape to the poems. I guess if you look at it, it's kind of like a half circle ish. But yeah, so it was made um uh it was developed to establish African American poets in a wider context of American poetry. I've I've done this poetry form for when I reviewed the Kwanzaa movie Black Candles. So I figured I should do something that, is distinctly African American for Juneteenth. Into the I think it's I into can be considered a form of poetry, a form of protest, creating a form for African American poets to use without forcing them into a white cultural tradition. Kind of skimming over the background. It's similar to a haiku, but it talks about instead of nature, it focuses on it's concerned with sharing knowledge. So yeah, that's the basis of it, and it is syllable based. So it's 7 lines. So it goes 2, 4, 6, 8, and then it goes back to 6, 4, 2. And then I'll put this part of the poetry form in the description as always. Oh, I almost forgot. How can I? Obligatory self promotion for Juneteenth, for Black Music Month, for Pride Month. All of it's in here. Uh, Poems inspired by what if I rule the world? Poems inspired by music. If I don't, my brain's not working today. I don't know my own book title. Yeah, what if I rule the world? Poems inspired by music, written by me, your girl. Very pro Black in there. Everything's inspired by music. A lot of Black musicians. There's some sapphic poems in there. Everything for this month. So check it out. Link in the description. Always there. Link it in my bio. Almost forgot. Got into a flow state. But yeah. So that's the poetry form, and we're gonna start from number 10 and go up. Even though when I recorded this, I'm recording it now. When I listened to the songs, I went from 1 down because that was just easier with the Apple format. That's just how it is. So number 10, I talked about on my short video, which I'm going to talk about another song. I'm recording this on Tuesday. The next short video comes out tomorrow, but this video won't come out until Juneteenth. So it's like a lot of layers going on. But number 10 is Sexy Salon by Mana Leo. And Salon is just another name for someone who is of African American descent who came from slavery, or whose ancestors came from slavery, basically. So I'm going to review it. Just forewarning, all of these are going to be 10 out of 10, just without saying. But I will give my actual little blurb reviews. I love a title that gives you something to look up and learn something new. And I love all the Black references and superstitions in the song. She talks about, don't put your purse on the ground. She's dreaming about fish, all kinds of Black cultural superstitions and references. And I frequently put my purse on the ground. That's not good. Oh, I have to tell you a story. My professor was not Black. She was Hispanic, but she did not. I sat in the front row, which probably was the first mistake. But she did not want me to put my purse on the ground. I had to we didn't have a good, nice desk either. It was like one of those old desks where it's like the chair and then it's wrapped around. So there was not a lot of room. But she would not let me put my purse on the ground. She was very adamant, so I had to prop it up with my foot. Just a funny memory to think about. And then she also told us once she wanted somebody to get out of her home. Apparently, I've never tried this. You put a broom upside down, or you put it upside right. So the The bristle part is in the air. So I think the people were in her garage actually. She put it like that in the garage, but instead of leaving, they went inside the house. So results may vary, depending on how you do it, apparently. But it was just a memory I just thought about. I also love alliteration, as you all know. LOL. Love me some alliteration. I love the alliteration in the song and the video, like I mentioned in my short video, where she had not only the Black American flag, but she also had all the flags of the diaspora of all the countries for Black people. Loved it. And I also love that she had the Black American flag with pink on it. So cute. Um, I also love Mana Leo in general, and I just love how pro-Black she is. So I did write a poem for each uh, song. I am gonna say what is technically a slur, but I use it to describe people. But anyway, it's called All the Non-Blacks and the Coons to the Back. So she says in the song, All the Non-Blacks to the Back. So I decided to add in the coons. Black queens and black kings, come to the front, because you're more than welcome unless you're a coon. Only come if you love all of us or get lost. Which is really how I feel, because I'm like, you don't love every single type of Black person. You want all this respectability politics. I could go. But yeah, that's how I feel about it. So yeah, that's Mana Leo and Sexy Salon. At number 9, I have All Right by Kendrick Lamar. So it shows how resilient we can be as a people, how we could be put down, but still we will be all right. It sucks that we still got to keep fighting for our rights, even now, 2026, the big 2026. But we've always been all right. I wish we could have peace and not just make the most out of our struggles, because I feel like that's just what we do over and over again. So my poem is called When We Gonna Be at Peace. We're gonna be all right, just like we always are in the face of evil, time and time again. But I wish we could just finally be at rest. This was a good rest, we don't ask to be over here or really anywhere where we're speaking English, Portuguese, and Spanish, among other languages that are not native to Africa, the African continent. But here we go, always fighting for something. Spiel. Oh, also, well, my short video for Mana Leo, Selects Lawn, when I was talking about it, I did delete the comment on my TikTok, but somebody was like, why are you always calling us African? If you're from Africa, that's fine. And I'm like, where do you think Black people came from? Huh? You think we were plucked from outer space? Like, I get it. We're probably far removed from the African continent and from our roots, but that doesn't mean it like we can't acknowledge it. It just pissed me off. I went on a rant with my friends about it, so I'm not gonna rehash those feelings because I was really pissed after I deleted the comment. Because at first I was gonna reply, but I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna feed the troll. I'm just gonna delete it and hope I never see her ass again. And she was a Black woman too. And it's like, what's wrong with being African American? It's because them crackers told us that all these horrible things about Africa and we should be ashamed and all this other stuff. That's the only reason. But speaking of them crackers, the next song at number 8 is Don't Touch My Hair by Solange featuring Sampa. Hope I said it. I think it's a man. I hope I said his name right. My review, it's never just hair. Our identity is criticized constantly just for it to be appropriated and commodified. Just recently, sorry y'all, I think Elf, which they've had a lot of controversy, came out with like edge control, but not for us though. Of course, not for us. Which is crazy, but that's just one current example. Oh, speaking of another example, I just saw some Japanese people doing like the I forgot what it's called, like the majorette dances at HBCUs. You know how they be doing them, and I was like, oh, okay. But Black people in America have a no culture, no nothing, apparently, according to other people. Where was I with my review? Oh, here we go. It is our crown, our pride, our heritage. Nobody wants to be black, but they want to be black. Just like these examples. They want our rhythm, but not our blues, which is a tale as old as time. So the poem's called Don't Touch My Soul. Don't touch my hair. Don't touch my crown. Don't touch my soul. Don't touch my creativity. Don't touch my pride and joy. Don't touch my truth. Don't touch. This was appropriation just pissed me off. Anyway, so we talked about Solange Knowles. Let's talk about Beyonce Knowles Carter with her song Formation. Uh, I decided to put them back to back because I was like, why not? And I do love, of course, I love all these songs, but I do love Formation a little more. So Don't Touch My Hair, but they're both, relevant. I also thought about having Black Parade, but technically I have Beyonce twice on the list, so I was like, we're gonna give her this one by. We're like, technically this one is by herself, but the other one is like a version that she's done. Version of a song that she's done. So my review, one of my favorite Beyonce songs. I love the proudness of her loving her man, the way he is with his wide nose, and her daughter with her baby hair and afros, which people talked so badly about Blue Ivy, and it's just insane. How you talk about a child like that? It's crazy. Anyway, love the encouragement of Black people to be anything they want to be. Yep, we can dream it, we can be it. Always feel so empowered and encouraged listening to this song. So the poem is called "We Slay." And she does say, "I slay, you gonna slay." So that's where it came from. That's where it came from. Slay as hard as you can because I don't want to see us doing better than them. But go harder. But we go harder just to prove ourselves. Own it. It's true. We have to work twice as hard to get half as much. So we're at number 6. And I also have 2 F songs back to back. So I was like, hey, little alliteration. So it's Fight the Power by Public Enemy. A review. Oh, my review. It's a great protest song. Love it. I will say it's like edited for some reason. I guess maybe for when it was in the Spike Lee's movie, Do the Right Thing, but I guess they just never unedited it because the rest of the album is explicit that this song is on. It's just random. I love the section about Elvis and John Wayne not being our heroes, Black people's heroes, especially since they stole Black music, Elvis, and the Black cowboy image, respectively, John Wayne. Because there are actually a lot of Black cowboys, and there were a lot of them who were cowboys because that's what they were called. Go get them cows, boy. You know. So that's where the name came from. But then it got, of course, appropriated like a bunch of other things. And we got to keep fighting the powers that put us down. And this song makes me so hype. I also think about when I was listening to the song, like all these women who went on Flavor of Love. I'm like, did they even know his music or anything? But it was for entertainment. So the song, the poem is called "Fight the Powers That Be." They do say that in the song. Don't be content in life. Fight for what you believe in. Never let up until you get what you want, and never settle for less than. Now we're in the top 5. So these ones are a little bit. I think a lot of these are older songs, but not like in a bad. But like I felt like the older ones should more likely be at the top because they're like classic. Not saying any of the other ones aren't classic, but you know what I mean. So number 5 is A Change Is Gonna Come by Sam Cooke. Can tell his frustrations about how he and other Black people were treated were heavy on his mind. He is ready for things to get better for us. Unfortunately, it feels like changes for our betterment have been undone. That just shows how powerful we really are. Sam was ready for a change, and we got to keep pushing for changes too. Because our vote wasn't powerful, if our dollars weren't powerful, if we weren't powerful, they wouldn't be trying to hold us back. Now would they? All right. So the poem's called "Change Is Still Coming." Fighting for the same fight, like from before. Here we go. Here we are again and again, like not a single thing changed. but keep fighting for us. And number 4 is To Be Young, Black, and Gifted by Nina Simone. Well, she also had a few other songs that I considered, but I feel like this one was like, yeah, the best pick for my top 10. I love how encouraging this song is, celebrating our young black people and encouraging young black people to be proud of who they are. Also to be proud of what they can accomplish. I love that message. So it's called Star Child. Don't let doubt cloud your mind because you are young, gifted, and black. It's where it's at. So be bold and as free as you can be. You're a star. Now we're in the top 3. So this next one, I felt like it was a little sad. So I was like, should it be a pro-black song? But it is. It's, basically it's a protest song about lynching. So I figured it should be in the list. So it's Strange Fruit by Billie Holiday. It's still relevant to this day, unfortunately, which is very sad and maddening. We're still being lynched, and not even figuratively, because there have been several cases in the news recently, but still being hung from trees and it being ruled as suicides. Because what black person is hanging themselves from a tree? Come on now. And being killed in other ways, and our killers are still getting away with it. Speaking of the recent, oh gosh, I wish I could remember his name. I feel so bad. But the boy who got shot by the Asian owner of this business, and then the owner got acquitted, even though he clearly was running away. So, yeah, we're still getting killed in other ways. Whether being shot, whether we're being hung from trees, yeah, all kinds of horrible things still, which is sad. So I named my poem Strange Fruit. Fruited bodies still swing from trees, still no peace, still being tormented for the color of our skin. We may never know peace, which is sad. I always say, I feel like the world just has to be blown up, and we just have to have new humans to just start over again for there to be any peace. If you're religious, you'll think that, God, Jesus is coming back, Allah, whatever, reincarnation, whatever you believe. It'd be nice, to have a do over where everybody is actually treated equally. And then another thing, for those people who are like, oh, Jesus is coming back, and they think their racist, judgmental selves are going, that's crazy. But anyway, let's get into the top 2. So, number 2, of course, in the title, Say It Loud, I'm Black and I'm Proud by James Brown. Very loud and proud indeed. And I didn't know there was a part 2, but it's just kind of like, it's part 1 and part 2, but it's kind of just a longer version of the song. You could just listen to part 1. A bold anthem for us to be proud of ourselves as black people. I just love the directness of talking about our injustices and still being proud of what we've overcome. So the poem is called Say It Loud. I'm black, I'm proud, and not ashamed to admit it, not ashamed to show it off, but they want us to be down, real down, real down. Oh, they want us to be down, real down low, but stay proud. And drum roll, please. I can't do a good drum roll. But number 1 is Lift Every Voice and Sing, which is AKA the Black National Anthem. First, I was stuck between Say It Loud, I'm Black and I'm Proud, and Lift Every Voice and Sing. But I was like, you know what? It is our anthem. Might as well be number 1. And I did listen to the Beyonce version. I listened to the Coco Jones version as well. I, for some reason, thought her version was cut off, but she sounded really great. But I just realized it's not the full version for either song. I don't know why they didn't sing the full version, but I know Coco Jones was live at one of the Super Bowls. I think it was last year, and she sang the Black National Anthem, Lift Every Voice and Sing. So I'm going to give some background on the song, and then I'm going to review it. It's a hymn with lyrics by James Weldon Johnson, written in the late 1800s and set to music by his brother J. Rosman Johnson in 1905. Written from the context of African Americans in the late 19th century, the hymn is a prayer of thanksgiving to God as well as a prayer for faithfulness and freedom with imagery that invokes biblical exodus from slavery to freedom of the promised land, which is interesting. You know, when we got to this country, as slaves, there was all this, the push for Christianity, but there's so many stories of slaves being free in the Bible. Very interesting. So here's my review. Love the power of this song and the resilience it shows. How we can carve out our own freedom no matter what is thrown at us. I also love the way that Beyonce arranged her version, and the stomping is very powerful. So I listened to the live version that she did at Homecoming for her Coachella set, especially her HBCU theme for Coachella. I guess I should have said for the Coachella performance. I was gonna have a typo. This is the ultimate pro black song to me. So my poem is called "Keep Your Head Up." Lift your head up high, and never let your crown fall. Never let your crown fall down, because you deserve to feel joy about who you are. So keep your head high, sky high. So those are my pro black songs. What are your pro black songs? There were so many choices I had. I thought about. I don't have that extra list of the songs that I had before, but I had, from what I can remember, Stevie Wonder's "Happy Birthday," which was dedicated to Martin Luther King Jr. I had a few other ones. I had "Black Parade" by Beyonce, but I took it off because I was already doing two. One of her doing a cover of the number one song, and then her own song. So they were, and then Solange has so many other uh, choices that I could have put. Kendrick Lamar has other choices I could have put. So yeah, what are your top 10 What are your top 10 pro black songs? Can't say that fast. Um, and then what are you doing for Juneteenth? And it's also going to be Father's Day, so there's that. I do kind of want my dad to cook out, but it's also his day, so I'm like, should he be doing anything? I don't know. But yeah, happy Juneteenth and happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there, especially our black fathers, who are there for their families. Really appreciate you. And we got one more week. My calendar's across the room, so I can't really see it. I think we have one more week ish or two. Let me look at my calendar on here. Technically, one more week of Black Music Month and Pride Month. So, gonna do another Pride theme next week to balance it out. Um, I don't even remember what I did the first week, but anyway. Oh, I did the Junior Mafia and the Firm album. So every other week, trying to evenly distribute the love. So yeah, I will see you all next week.